Aromie here. Welcome back to Tailor Tales, Grey Route, Chapter 13. See how many chapters it's going to take until our girlie is going to be honest to Grey. Okay, here we are. Ouch! I cry out as I prick myself with the end of my sewing needle, frowning at the injury. A drop of ruby blood bubbles on my fingertip, though I know it serves me right for not concentrating on what I was doing. Setting aside the garment I'm working on, I grab a tissue and hold it around my finger, stemming the flow of the blood. I need to be more careful. Smearing blood on a client's new dress isn't exactly the best way to promote a business. With a small smile, I decide it won't hurt if I finish up a little earlier today. The store has been unusually quiet, and I've been finding it difficult to concentrate on my task. I throw myself into my work, determined not to think anymore about Gray Jansen and his rather particular interests. I forgot his last name was Jansen. But as the day dragged on, I had found myself getting more and more distracted by thoughts of him. I was glad to have him here last night, after someone had been hanging around the alley. It made me feel safe knowing I wasn't alone. He was gone when I woke up this morning. I was both disappointed and relieved. On the other hand, I didn't have to endure any awkwardness after our late night conversation. With finding out, I drooled on his lap. But on the other hand, I was kind of looking forward to seeing that kind of person Gray is first thing in the morning. The bed hair alone would have been worth it. Surely worth it. He didn't leave a note or anything? Oh wait, he's right there. After putting my work away, it's later in the day. I head back out to the shop to lock up, freezing when I see a familiar blonde standing near the counter. "Oh, great!" I say in surprise, a small smile appearing on my face. I had just been thinking about him. Well, I've been thinking about him all day, really, but that doesn't make his presence any less surprising. "What are you doing here?" I ask. It's not one of his usual game nights. "I just wanted to stop by and make sure everything was okay around here," he explains, after what happened last night. With a small nod, I begin putting away the items on the counter, trying to calm my nerves, though the feeling of his eyes on me makes my skin warm. "Yeah, everything's fine. I haven't had any trouble today," I say, casually grabbing the keys for the front door. "I'm glad to hear it." I fetch with the keys in my hand, giving him a quick once-over before speaking again. "So where did you run off to in such a hurry this morning?" I ask. He shrugs a little and crosses his arms over his chest. "Oh, I had some things to take care of," he says vaguely. "At 7 in the morning?" "Yes, at 7 in the morning," he chuckles and then gives me a softer look. "I'm sorry, I wasn't there when you woke up. I wanted to be." He hesitates as though there's something more he wants to say. I suddenly get the impression that there may be another reason he's here. Before either of us can speak, the bell above the door rings, drawing our attention as Sarah enters the store. Jed follows behind her, so tall I constantly wonder if he's going to hit his head at the top of the door frame. "Hey, you two," Sarah greets us, and I don't miss the amusement in her voice as her eyes start between Gray and I. "Fancy seeing you here, Gray," she adds with a wink. "Well, I guess this is the place to be today," Gray grins between her and Jed, and I suddenly feel like I'm missing out on something. "We're heading out to the fun fair in the evening. You two should come." "Fun fair? When have you two hooked up? Wait a second." "Excuse me, I think I missed a chapter here between you two." "You two should come," Sarah says, giving me the kind of knowing smile that I wish she wouldn't. "I'd love to go. I haven't been to the fun fair in years," Grace speaks before I have the chance to, and all three sets of eyes fall on me. The fun fair is something that Sarah and I attended together every year, but between my work making the costumes for Nikki and being distracted by a certain blonde, I had forgotten all about it. "Sure, I'll go. We're never too old for a fair. What the fuck? I did not like that first choice." "Sure, I'll go," I say with a shrug, but my smile soon turns into a frown. "But it's usually just the two of us. You don't want to keep up with the tradition?" I ask Sarah. "It might be nice to have some company, don't you think?" Sarah gives me a meaningful look and I glance over at the guys. "Alright, I can take a hint." "Yeah, of course it would," I cover the remark with a smile. Sarah claps her hands in approval and grins up at Jed, and it seems my intuition was right. She's definitely doing this in order to hang out with a certain black-haired individual. I'm sure of it. But you both came in together, so I thought you... Okay. I'm not gonna question anything, bestie. Once the sun sets, I grab my jacket and phone. The four of us head out into the street. The fun fair isn't far, just a quick walk further into town, while Gray and Jed take the lead walking ahead of us. I hang back with Sarah. "So, are you going to keep denying that you have a thing for Chad?" I lean into her, earning a scoff in response. "I have no idea what you're talking about," she says with a dismissive shake of her head. I snort loudly. I'm not buying it. Anyone with eyes can see there's something going on. I happen to have two of them. "Sarah," I press, and though she purses her lips defiantly, she eventually cracks. She stares at Jed, lowering her voice so as not to be overheard. "Fine, so I like him. I really like him, she whispers to me, and I can barely smother my triumphant grin. I thought he was a mountain man, I say bluntly, looking at her when she sighs. I was wrong, she admits quietly. He's actually really smart and surprisingly gentle, she adds, a small but wicked smile curling her lips. I gape at her, I can't help it. Sarah actually admitting she was wrong is the equivalent of seeing pigs fly. I never thought I would see the day. We sealed the deal last night, she gloats, right after he asked me to be his girlfriend. Oh wait, what the fuck? What? Then why did you care about the whole fun fair? Why were you nervous about it if you guys are like boyfriend and girlfriend? What, really? I shriek. When I notice I've drawn attention of the guys, I lower my voice. I didn't even know things were getting that serious between the two of you, I whisper. It all moved pretty fast. I didn't even... Sarah whips her head towards the guys behind us. We're coming, just wait for us up ahead, she calls out to Jed and Gray, who has slowed down since noticing us falling behind. With a shrug, they continue on down the street. Does he know? I mean, about who you are? And all the stuff with the gang? No, not yet, she shakes her head. What about Gray? This isn't good for either of us. I sigh as she has my answer. I feel a smidgen of relief knowing that we share the same dilemma. The two of you seem to be getting close, Sarah muses. I give her a look that says I'd rather not talk about it, and she shrugs. I'm sorry I was pushing you about telling him before. I know now that it's not as easy as it sounds, she says. First, you admit you were wrong about Jed, and now you're apologizing to me? I tease. Who are you, and what have you done with my best friend? I'm being serious, she nudges me. But I don't miss the smile that sneaks onto her lips. I grin to myself, happy that she's finally found someone she likes so much. After all the terrible dates and failed relationships she's had in the past, she deserves someone like Jed. I like Jed. He seems like a good guy, I say softly, smiling at the way she watches him. Yeah, he is. We walk in a comfortable silence until we reach the end of the road, the sounds of music and people getting louder with each step. Bratwurst. Bumper cars. Price Palace. Grab a prize. Cash. Be wow. That doesn't sound right. When we turn the next corner, we find the fun fair set up down the street and in full swing. Wow, I say out loud. The fair never fails to brighten my mood, filling me with a feeling of nostalgia. The bright lights, the music, the scent of food drifting through the air, and then of course the laughter and screams of the people enjoying the rides. Even from here I can spot them all. The roller coaster, Ferris wheel, pirate ship. Come on, girls! Hurry up, we hear Jed's voice from afar. Let's go on the bumper cars. I hate bumper cars. I feel like I get whiplash on that shit. Jed waves us over as though we'd ever lose sight of the two guys who tower over the majority of the crowd, and we head over to join them. Sarah runs off ahead, gripping Jed by the arm and leading with Gray. You ready to kick some ass on the bumper cars? He asks, chuckling as the other two excitedly find a place in line. Well, it just so happens that bumper cars are my favorite. For her, not for me, I say with a grin. Gray raises an inquisitive eyebrow and gestures to the line of the ride. In that case, after you. We head over to wait in line with Jen and Sarah, and I quietly left the way they whisper and smile at each other. They make a good-looking couple. Alright, cuties. No need to rub your relationship in our... I'm kidding. Feels weird to be stuck with all the teenagers. Jed turns to grin at us. When did we get so old, huh? I glance up and down the line and find that we really are the only adults waiting for the ride. Speak for yourself, mate. Gray teases him back, earning a playful punch in the arm. When we were younger, the bumper cars were the coolest place to hang out at the fair, I explained to the boys as the memories hit me. We spent a lot of time here, it was always so much fun. Sarah lets out a snort of laughter. Yeah, all the boys went hanging around trying to ride with the girl they like, or just try to impress her in their cars. She gives me a mischievous smile. If I remember correctly, you always had a flock of them trying to catch your eye, didn't you, Michiko? I'm not surprised, Grace says with a small nudge before I can say anything. But that's how it is, I'll give it my best shot at impressing you, he adds, quieter this time. I turn to smile and run a finger down his chest to stop that thought. What? Yo! I'm being a little touchy. Run a finger down his chest to stop that thought in its tracks. Oh, you really think I'm gonna let you drive me, tease him? He has to laugh and raise his eyebrows at me. I guess I was wrong. So wrong. No, I prefer passenger princess. Have a go at it, bro. It doesn't take much longer for the bumper cars to come to a stop, and we're in the next group of people to be let through. Gray lets me ahead of him, and I slip into the driver's seat while he gets in beside me. He clicks his seatbelt into place before giving me a look. Please don't get me killed. With a smirk, I take the wheel in both hands, feeling for the pedals beneath my feet. Hold on tight. When the alarm buzzes to signal the ride has started, I push my foot down on the accelerator. The car lunges forward and Gray braces a hand against the front of the car to stop himself from flying forward. Whoa, easy now. My attention is elsewhere. My sights set on the one thing. I search the arena for my target as I make a lap, finally spotting the familiar heads of Sarah and Jen on the other side. Spinning the wheel, the car spins in the other direction. I put my foot on the gas, my eyes fixed on the pair. Just eyes wide in terror as we approach, but Sarah only smirks and clutches the wheel, ready to meet us head on. This is a yearly tradition for us, and has been since we were teenagers. I put my foot down the car and the car goes faster, narrowly avoiding the other giggling couples as I head for our target. We slam into each other in the other car with full force, spinning until it wedges in between two opposing cars. Sarah shrieks while I pump my fist in the air, victorious. After that, we team up and take on the other drivers, our laughter echoing through the rain while both Gray and Jet cower in the passenger seats. When the ride finally comes to an end, Sarah and I link arms and head for the exit, my stomach aching with laughter. They look so sick. I blame you. Gray points a finger at Jet, who looks like he's about to be sick. Well, come on, it wasn't that bad. I giggle and take Gray by the arm, completely forgetting any awkwardness I had about last night. We spend some time on the booths next, shooting targets and tossing rings over plastic clowns. Jet wins an enormous teddy bear for Sarah, one that's almost as big as her, while they continue playing games and winning prizes like glance around the fair, looking for something else to do. Hey look, let's go on the Ferris wheel. I pull on Gray's arm, still high on adrenaline from the cars. I'm not so sure that's a good idea, he starts to say, but lets me pull him along regardless. It'll be fun, I declare. Are you afraid of heights? We pay the ticket price for the Ferris wheel and head up onto the platform, waiting for the next cart to come down. Seeing Sarah's knowing look, we don't all sit together. Instead, we break off into two groups. Gray seems a bit apprehensive when our cart comes down, after Sarah has already shoved Jen inside the previous one. I happily take a seat and watch as Gray climbs inside as well. I don't think he likes Ferris wheels. I don't think he likes heights, actually. It starts to move almost immediately, and I look out over the street, seeing the rides, vendors, and hundreds of people enjoying them all. It's almost a full minute before I realize that Gray is silent, barely moving at all. Are you okay? I asked, ducking to catch a glimpse of his face. It's just that I'm not so good with heights. You can attempt to scale my two-story building, but a Ferris wheel is too much, I ask in disbelief. Gray tends a small smile. To be fair, this goes a lot higher than 2 stories. I feel horrible. I was so excited about getting on the ride that I hadn't even given him a chance to say a thing. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I start to apologize. It's okay, it's fine. He takes in a deep breath. Not a deep breath, he takes a breath, putting on a brave smile. Just distract me so I don't think about it. Alright, even though we're like pretty high up here. I'm okay. I'll take his hand. Why not? I reach out and take his hand, holding it tight. He squeezes my fingers, his warmth seeping to my skin. How's this? I ask, ignoring the butterflies in my stomach. Better. Definitely better. The wind whips my hair around my shoulders, and Gray reaches up to brush a few strands away from my face. You look really pretty up here, under these lights, he says. A shiver runs through me. One I can't be sure is caused by his touch for the cold wind. You look pretty good up here, too. It's a beautiful night, and as our seat on the Ferris wheel gets to the top, it stops, giving us an amazing view. So, did you know about Sarah and Jad? I asked Gray, looking at the cart next to ours. Not until tonight. He's pretty private about things like that. When he sees me frown, he gives me a small nudge. Does it bother you? He asks. No, not at all, I say and then pause. I just don't want her to get hurt. She tends to jump into things without thinking them through. I can tell you now that Jed thinks over every single little detail before deciding to do anything like this. I think Sarah will be good for him, Grace says. I turn and give him a little smile. You're not going to miss having him all to yourself. To be honest, I think I've spent more time with you than him these past couple of weeks, he says, leaning his shoulder against mine. And I'm not complaining. A little buzz gives through me at the contact, but a feeling of doubt sends drifts over to scatter all of that. Girl, please, you must tell him. We cannot keep lying to the same man, please. What if... I start to speak and then pause, wondering if the question is a good idea. Maybe not on the Ferris wheel. Deciding just to go for it. Okay. I let out a sign start again. What if there was something that she hadn't told him? Something important that might change the way he thinks about her. Gray frowns a little, but doesn't seem to think too far into it. Still, I find it difficult to meet his eyes. I think that as long as she's honest with him, he'd be able to overlook it, he says softly, holding my gaze. He really is crazy about her. He looks at me in the way that leaves me unsure as to who exactly he's talking about. My hands start to sweat, and I wonder if he notices the way they're shaking. I hesitate for a long while, the words sitting on the tip of my tongue refusing to leave. I'm the reason you were arrested that night. It's my fault you were expelled from school. My fault your entire future was ruined. What does he do? What is his job? What if she knew telling him was the right thing to do, but she couldn't bring herself to for whatever reason? Now I'm just playing stupid. I know I'm playing with fire, but I just can't help myself. I have to ask. It sounds like she's scared of being rejected. I wipe my palms off my clothes and as casually as I can muster. Maybe. Her developing feelings for him was unexpected, to say the least, and now she doesn't want to lose him. I might be imagining things, but I swear the corner of Gray's lips twitch upwards slightly. Quite the dilemma. Sounds like she could use a little more trust. I swallow hard. Would he still feel this way if he knew the extent of the damage I'd done to him? Surely not everything can be forgiven. Shouldn't that be left up to him to decide? I clamp my mouth shut as a wave of guilt crashes over me. Maybe she just needs a little more time. Silence falls the two of us as our compartment sways gently in the night. We're going back down, Gray mumbles, interrupting my thoughts. I let out a small sigh of relief. Oh good. He takes my hand to help me off the ride when we come to a stop, and I can't bring myself to let him go. I don't want my time with him to end. Surely it wouldn't hurt to stretch that night out a little further. Back to the fair music. I definitely have to go on the roller coaster next, Gray declares, tilting his chin towards the ride further down. The chill runs through me at the bare idea. I can hear screams from here. He starts heading towards the ride, but I refuse to follow, letting our hands break apart as I firmly plant my feet on the ground. Oh no, now that's one I'm not going on. I say stubbornly, crossing my arms over my chest for good measure. Hey, if I won the Ferris wheel, then you can do the roller coaster. Gray coaxes me, his eyes bright. You have to trust me. I thought you were scared of heights, I protest. Gray chuckles. It's a roller coaster. It sits on rails. It's different from being stuck in a suspended cart. He holds his hand out to me and I eye it warily. The last time I went on a roller coaster, I was 10 years old, and after I got off, I was sick to my stomach, throwing up my hot dog and cotton candy dinner in the nearest trash can. I really don't want a repeat of that, especially not in front of Gray, but the way he's looking at me so determined makes me want to take his hand. Finally, my shoulders slump in defeat, and I let out a huff of air. Alright. I sigh, slipping my hand into his palm and letting him lead me towards the line for the ride. Oh, God. I haven't been on a roller coaster since, well, last year, but, I think I'm getting to the age where, like, it's starting to scare me a little bit for roller coasters that are, like, super high up when it's just, like, trudging you up along and you're like, oh my god, please. To my absolute horror, we end up in the front seats of the first car, and I can't stop myself from shooting Gray a withering glare. You'll be fine, he says with a laugh. We secure ourselves in place, my hands shaking like crazy as I grip the sides of my seat and close my eyes tight. Michiko, open your eyes. I shake my head fervently, teeth clenched tight. Don't you trust me? He laughs and I crack open my eyes just to glare at him again. I really hate you right now, I say, but the eyebrow he raises has me laughing at myself before long. I gas a little and the car begins to roll, my heart thumping like a hammer on my chest. Up, up, up we go. The slow ascent only adding to my nerves. Here we go, Gray says excitedly as we reach the top, and now I know it's too late. There's no going back from here. There's another rumble, the shriek of metal, and then the roller coaster lurches forward, sending us dropping straight down before we go up once more, and through a double loop. My hair is whipping around my face like crazy, and I'm pretty sure I'm screaming, but I can't hear anything above the screech of the roller coaster. We go up once more, then through a corkscrew, before finally making it to the end, the car slowly coming to a stop beside the platform. We sit there for a moment, stunned, until Gray nudges me and helps me out of the car. When we finally make it off the ride, I take in a deep breath. After I was hoarse from screaming, my legs are jelly, my face streaming with tears from the wind, but I can't stop the smile that breaks across my face. That was so much fun. Looks like someone enjoyed herself, Gray chuckles as he comes up to beside me and puts an arm around my shoulders, leaning in close enough to whisper in my ear. See what happens when you trust me? The warmth of his breath skitters across my skin and my stomach lurches for another reason entirely. You're a walking contradiction, you know that? I accuse him as we walk away from the ride. You hate needles but have piercings, don't like heights, but a roller coaster is a walk in the park. Everyone has fears, don't they? He grins at me, removing his arms to rub his hands together, warding off the cold. I suppose I do, I say wistfully. I still haven't figured out yours, he adds, giving me a look that suggests he hopes I might spill my fears here and now. I force a smile, brushing the symptoms off as I walk ahead. The thing I fear most right now is the one thing I can't tell him. The fear is him finding out who I really am, and me losing everything. He literally told you the blueprint. He said to just trust him. He said to just tell him. He's literally giving you all the answers. Walking past the food stalls, my stomach grumbling all over the delicious smells, I stop suddenly. A group of people are heading towards us, a group of people who look oddly familiar, and then it clicks. Every single one of them is a member of my old academy gang. Oh no, I say before I can stop myself, looking around wildly for somewhere to hide. Is everything okay? Gray asks as he comes up beside me. Yeah, there's just someone I don't want to see, I try to explain, panic rising in my chest. Let's go this way. Taking me by the hand, Gray pulls me behind a row of booths, separating us from Sarah and Jed. It's dark back here, and I hope we're hidden away well enough. I lean back against the wall of the booth, letting out a long breath. I was way too close. Who was it? Gray asked as warm breath filling the space between us. A client of mine, I say. Don't like coming easy. Once she gets started, she just doesn't stop talking, and I didn't want to ruin our night. He shakes his head and grins, as though all of that worrying was for something so insignificant. If only he knew the truth. She's probably gone by now. He peeks around the side of the booth, but I can't put a hand on his arm before I can leave. I can't afford to take any chances. Gray? I say quietly. Yeah? Did you have fun tonight? A smile breaks across his face, and I don't stop him when he leans close, positioning a hand against the wall beside my head. It just so happens that I did, and I know you did too. His lips quirk to the side. You see what happens when you trust me? I trust you. I don't trust my girl with shit. His smile fades a little when he pulls back, his eyebrows knitting together as he looks at me. You do trust me, don't you? I force a laugh, trying to make light of a dangerous situation. Should I? You're not exactly a choir boy. Unaffected by teasing, Gray has this strange look on his face. The hypothetical we were talking about earlier. The one with Sarah and Chad. Let me make this clear. If it were me, I would want to be trusted. I would want there to be no secrets. I'm at a loss for words, not expecting Gray to bring our conversation up again so suddenly. Well... My phone starts buzzing in my pocket. I almost try to pull it out, almost dropping it on the ground in the process. When I answer, Sarah's voice drops through the receiver. Hey, where are you guys? We're just walking around getting some air, I say, ducking under Gray's arm and taking a few steps away. Jen and I are gonna leave. Will you be okay? She asks. Yeah, it's fine. It's not far to walk, I assure her. Great. Have a good night. She hangs up. I pocket my phone and turn back to Gray. We should get going. I have to finish work on the costumes tomorrow. He dips his head, stepping towards me. I'll walk you home. Oh, you don't have to, I start to protest, though he's already started walking. I insist. What? Oh, okay, I was like, what happened? We'll leave the fun fair together, each one of us oddly quiet on the walk back home, both lost in our thoughts. I can't stop thinking about Gray's confrontation in the alleyway. Clearly, I need to say something. Anything. Even if I can't come completely clean, there's still room to be more honest with him. As we approach the boutique, I break the silence, standing just outside the door to my building. Hey, can I tell you something? Gray nods, his stormy eyes oddly bright as they shine beneath the street lamps. There's something I've been keeping from you. A secret. Oh? Gray asked. Though he doesn't raise an eyebrow, his expression seems significantly less surprised than I thought. What? I would have thought. Sorry. Can't read clearly. Although I guess it's early on in relationships, it's normal to have some things about yourself you'd rather keep hidden. Mine just have a lot more to do with Gray than I would like to let on. And what would that be? I can't tell you yet, I say flatly. I have a secret? Can't tell you yet. Sorry. At the sight of his bewildered gaze, I wrap my arms around myself and attempt to draw comfort from the touch. I want to, and I know you say you want me to, so it seems perfectly clear that I should, and yet, I'm scared, Gray. I'm so scared. Do you think you could be patient with me? I know it's a lot to ask. For a moment, I could have sworn he was about to lean in and kiss me on the cheek, but instead he steps back, shoving his hand in his pockets. I'm not a patient man, Michiko. I want you to be able to come clean. I hate that there's something coming between us. Okay, at least he's honest. But I'll give it a shot. Okay. A gentleman. And I appreciate you telling me this much, more than you know. Relief floods through me, and I release a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. I know I'm not out of the woods yet, but it's as if a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Maybe we could hang out again sometime soon. I'm dropping off costumes at the academy Monday afternoon, and could use a hand. They're really heavy. Gray chuckles softly. So you're using me for unpaid labor, are you? No, I say, scrambling. I'm mostly just like the company, I swear. His laugh deepens and he shoots me a smirk. Sweet dreams, Michiko. See you then. I watch as he turns and walks back down the street, heading for home, thankful for how things went. Here's to hoping confessing the whole truth will go just as well. I fucking hope so. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of hiding things from him, honestly. Because the better we just do it, like confess it all, the better it will be, okay? He can make the judgment for himself if we're worth it or not. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.